AI Complete, a function in Snowflake, is the most useful AI function that I have used in my entire career. So here's the official definition of what AI Complete is. AI Complete generates a response from text or an image using supported language model. So what exactly does that mean? It means that it works kind of like your Geminis, like your Claudes. You can pass in information and then have it be able to generate a response based on what you put into it. So you might ask it, what's the general sentiment of this review that we have on a product? And then that would be something that it might say, good, bad. Now, if you want it to be within a certain band, good, bad, neutral, then you might have to note that on the prompt. And if you want to go beyond that, then you might say, what's one takeaway from this? Did the client tell us anything that we could have done better with this product? Then that's something that might go in it as well. And so you can write a prompt that then will pass through each and every individual observation that you identified, that you pass through the function, and then it can give you some information out. And so honestly, there is a world of opportunities in that kind of thing. There's a world of things that you could suggest for it to provide you. So let's now think about some of the things around this function. Part one, AI Complete is the function that I'm talking about because it's the function that I've used the most in my career so far as a data analytics consultant. I've been able to use it to be able to identify and then extract information from media-related data sets. I've been able to pass that information into data pipelines. So it's been a particularly useful and flexible function for me. But the first point that I'd like to raise to you is that while it may be particularly flexible, that does not mean that it is the right tool for the job. There are a number of other AI-related functions here. Try to list some of those here. There are a handful of other AI-related functions that you could ultimately use, and so perhaps one of those is the more optimal tool to use. Maybe it's less costly. You really want to give some consideration to whether or not you've got the right tool for the job. Second to that, just because this is a video about AI doesn't mean that AI is the right tool for your job, and so that's something that you as a data professional need to consider. Number three, if you are going to use AI, then the next thing that I want you to consider is what information you are passing into and out of your function. You need to make sure that you are cleaning or culling the information that you are using that goes through the function. You don't want to pass more in than you need. You don't want to pass in less than you need. And if you need to identify multiple pieces of information within a single field that you want to then extract, maybe it's a unique ID that has a number of pieces of information that you want broken out into a handful of fields, maybe 4 or 5 fields, and then you are going to parse that afterwards. Then you would need to dictate that it's in a structure that is parsable, maybe JSON, and then that's the one that I've used, that's why I suggest it. And then you can parse that response and then feed that into individual fields downstream from it. And so you really want to pass in and out the information that you will need, identify that, and only that, and then in a very particular way, tell the prompt what you want it to do, what you don't want it to do. Next, I want you to think, in for just one quick moment, I know nobody likes this word, but traditionally, in terms of engineering, I want you to think about the time, cost, memory complexity of the functions that you are running. If your function takes 2 days to run, maybe that's okay. But if your team needs it to run in a day, and that's something for you to consider. If your team has a budget threshold that you need to then report, like if you cross, you need to report to a client that you need to use a function of such a size to be able to do something in a serviceable way, in a way that is okay, and up to standard, up to the service level required by the client, then you need to do that. You need to see if it's using more memory than it needs to use. And so you need to think about the time, cost, memory complexity of the function that you are running. You need to really give that solid consideration. And I'm not telling you that because it's just going to be a nice to have for the client. I'm telling you that because it can be very expensive and very time intensive and costly in terms of time for you to get this wrong. You can run up a huge bill There are some leaderboards out there. I won't say whose leaderboards, but that were tracking whether or not their teammates were using enough AI-related tokens. But if you look at it another way, each one of those tokens is costly, and so does it really make sense to track that? Because cost isn't productivity. Money can't buy you productivity, and it also can't buy you class. But this is a video about AI complete, and so I won't talk about class right now. With all that taken into account, AI complete is the most helpful function that I have seen so far in my analytics career. I hope that it can be helpful to you. And yeah, this has been AI complete and Snowflake.